Okay, so Shotokan karate has a unique kick that the other styles don't have, to the best of my knowledge, and that is the Yoko, Geri, Keage. I'm going to go over that kick today, give you some pointers, some ideas on application, and we're going to talk about some different ideas that I've kind of taken from other styles as well in terms of my application. So we'll start off again, like I said, with the very basics, how to do the kick, or how I do the kick, and then we'll progress into some application. Now, I want to also say before this, everything I say in these videos is how I like to teach things. I'm not saying what anyone else does is wrong, or what I'm doing is, the most correct thing there is. The beauty of karate is that there are many ways of doing the same things. Okay, so if you like it, that's good, you've learned something, and if you don't like it, you've also learned something. So let's get to the technique. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take the position of a mai geri. Okay, so my mai geri is straight on. So first of all, feet straight, feet parallel facing forwards, and take the angle of that front kick. From this position, I want to turn my feet 45 degrees. Okay, so my Yoko, Geri, Keage, or my rising snap, side snap kick is coming out at this angle. So only a small angle from my body here. Okay, it's not strictly, or it's not exactly a side kick that I would do with maybe like a kikomi coming out directly to the side. So what I'm doing, as I said, is taking my feet to 45 degrees. My knee, or my kick, is still going that way, so I want to lift my knee and still point to that corner. Okay, so with the mai geri, I have my knee coming this way to the front. As I turn my body 45 degrees, I still want my knee coming to the front this way. Okay, as I do that, I'm kind of turning my foot upside down this way. I'm making inversion at the ankle, so I'm turning my foot inwards this way. The contact point that I use for Yoko, Geri, Keage is the outside edge and the top part of my foot. Okay. The kick, as I said, is a rising kick. I'm using it to rise up rather than to kind of penetrate in as we would with a kikomi. So, again, 45 degrees, point the knee towards the target, this way still. Okay, so we're going to do like this from this angle. Point it out to the side. Okay, here. My foot is inverted, and then from here, I'm going to pop my hip upwards. Hip pops up like this, and I'm snapping and coming back down into my reach angle position. So again, tuck the foot towards the target. It's only a small angle with the feet. I'm not doing too much of this. Here, pop the hip out. Okay, so here again, pop the hip as I'm raising into that kick. This way, pop, snap, and back down again. I want to avoid, and this is very common, especially in competition when people want to make the kick really high, the kick becomes like a mawashi geri and it ends up coming around like mawashi because the setup of the kick is not really designed to go so high like that. In order to go high, we need to turn our foot away and open the pelvis up as we look for a kikomi or a mawashi geri. So as I said, the foot is here, small angle, knee, pop, snap the kick, and down. The target areas for me are the groin, inside of the thigh, maybe into the hip joint as well. So the kick then is a low kick, okay? Older or traditional, classical karate doesn't really have high kicks. So if we're looking at kata and we're trying to understand what we're doing with these kicks, most of the time they're going to be low kicks, okay? Low kicks that are going to bring the head down, maybe to set other things up. So I'm going to go here with my partner. He's going to either reach out to grab me or maybe a punch or something. If he makes it a grab, I quite prefer the grab because as he comes forwards, he's kind of putting weight into it this way. And he's not in a rush to snap it back if he's grabbing me. Okay, so one more time. As that one comes in, I'll make my uraki, okay, which we have in most of the kata when this kick comes. From here, my kick's coming into the groin or low this way. As you see, as I make that impact there, his body shoots back, ready for the elbow to come in afterwards. Okay, because in Shotokan, but also in the other style of katas, in Shito and Wadaru, they have a mai geri in this position, and it always follows up with an elbow, or most often follows up with an elbow. The other version often is when you make a kick and then turn and make a Shito position behind. So if we look at sort of different styles then, the same thing applies. We have a hand extending, we have a kick coming out, and we have an elbow. Okay, so this says to me, he's going to send the hand back out to me again. I'm defending first, making that kick, mai geri, or in the case of Shotokan, Keage, rising up into that groin, this way, and then dragging the head, coming down for that elbow strike afterwards. Okay, so the kick is being used as a setup. I'm hitting him low to create that reaction to then coming with the actual finishing strike. So in that case then, the Yoko, Geri, Keage is not necessarily a kick for power. We're not trying to get power out of it. It's a snap to create a reaction to set up for the actual finish. So what you'll often see is the kick turned into like a kikomi, but snapped back. Now the truth is, and the kikomi, for those that don't know, is like a side thrust kick. Now the truth is, really, all kicks should have a snap back. There should never be a kick that is left out to be, grabbed or whatever by your opponent. Even kicks that have a thrusting kind of feeling with them, where you're driving into the opponent, should still be retracted afterwards. So the difference between a Yoko, Geri, kikomi and Keage must, to me, be more than just simply snapping back. Another thing that tells me that also is, please again, if he is this close to me, and I'm dealing with him at close range in the way that kata is meant to be, I can't fit that kikomi in unless I come low, down here maybe. I can send in a thrust kick down there, possibly to hit into the inside fire, no problem. But the kata, generally, when we look at the older styles, have a maigiri in that position. They throw maigiri and they come in with the elbow this way. So the way I do the Keage then, the Yoko Geri Keage, is a blend between a front kick and a Yoko Geri Kikomi, like a side kick, but more leaning towards a front kick. So another way of using this kick then, if we don't want to be using it as a low kick, which I generally prefer, is we can then bring up to the head height. Okay, so please. So this way then, I'm doing the same action. I'm still popping that hip up, I'm angling the knee towards my target this way. So earlier I went low to the groin here. Now I'm going to pop it up and I'm going to hook it around a little bit more, like more of a uchi mawashi style kick. So it's here, rising, boom, into the target this way. Okay, pop that hip up. It's nice for close range. I can send it in here, whoosh, here, to set up maybe a closer range situation. So I'm here, snapping up to the head. So there's the Yoko Geri Keage in the way that I like to do it, and I like to teach it as well. So a couple of checkpoints then is I'm sending a kick off at 45 degrees in relation to my body. So in kata, when we have, say, a motion here and we're kicking directly to the side, this is obviously not 45 degrees. What I'm doing is I'm setting my body up. So then the kick does come out at 45 degrees from where my body is positioned. This is, in my opinion, better for the knees, for the health of the knees, because we're not kind of kicking over off a knee that is unstable, and we're setting the knee up correctly and the joints are all lined up as they kind of want to be. And it's also a kick that you can do long term. We're not constantly trying to throw these high head kicks that are strenuous on the hips and all this kind of thing, because we want to be doing karate for as long as we possibly can, right? So the techniques must have some kind of function, and they must also have longevity to them. I just want to mention my partnership with Art Martial Clothing. They are providing me with these nice designs of martial arts inspired hoodies, t-shirts, all this kind of thing. I'll leave a link in the description of this video where you can get yourself a 20% discount using a code. Go and check their stuff out. Nice stuff for training, especially when it's cold like this. Stick it over the top of your karate gi. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.